going to be tricky if you don't know what you're doing for the homework. Here's the setup, and I'm just going to redraw it so I can explain it as I go. You don't have to redraw this. It's what's sitting in your notes for you. The setup is you have an A value. Let me show you like this. Okay. In this lesson, A is always 1. In the lesson that Mrs. Prince teaches you, A will be a different number. So that's going to be what's different on Monday than what you're doing today. But if A is 1 always here, what you're doing is you're taking the A value times the C value up top. And then you put the B value, this guy, down here. And then whatever your A value is will go here. And then you ask yourself this question, and I'm going to ask you this question a lot, and it should be the question you ask yourself on every single problem, okay? The question is this: what can you multiply to get this number that you can add to get that number? So you're going to be looking at sets of numbers and thinking, okay, if I multiply to get 12, I get 3 times 4 or 2 times 6. Which of those setups would work to add to get this other number that I'm working with? So look at this setup. If I do this star here, your A value is a 1. Don't forget that, because A is going to be simple today, but it's going to get fancier. So I want you to remember this is A, and it is a 1, even though there's nothing there. Okay. So up top, I want A times C. This is A. This is B. This is C. What is A times C? It's 1 times 12, so it's 12. Okay? You don't need to write it as 1 times 12. I just want you to see where that's coming from. What's your B value in this problem? 7. Okay. Now, this number and that number are always the same, and they're always the A value. So in this setup, and every single time today, it will be a 1. Because we're not doing any different A values today. Yes?
How don't you write like 7 in the star?
Because we're just looking for the B, not B times X. B is 7. I want B there. I want to know what number we're multiplying and adding to get to those values. Yeah, so ditch the X's. You won't ever put the X's in until your final answer again. Okay, so here's the question. Are you ready? What can you multiply to get 12 that you can add to get 7? What 2 numbers can you multiply to get 12 that add together to get 7? 3 and 4. If you struggle to find those, here's what I would do. I would make a T-chart and think, what can I multiply to get 12? 1 times 12, 2 times 6. 3 times 4. Then we're to 4, and we already did 4. So those are your factors. You ask yourself which ones add together to get 7. It's 3 and 4. So you put a 3 on the left, you put a 4 on the right. Okay, you're essentially done. You just have to write your answer. Here's how the answer works. You would do so the X now is going to be attached to that top number. So that's 1X plus 3 and 1X plus 4. So this is the factored form of this trinomial. X plus 3 times X plus 4. How could you check your answer? Foil that. If you foil that, it should look like this. Okay? How'd you do? Okay, we're going to do a bunch of these. So if it's not making sense yet, it will in just a minute. Look at number 1. Set up your star. Can you tell me what's going to go up here? 20. It is 1 times 20, which is 20. What is your A value? 1. So this and this will be 1 all day long today. That will be 1. What number goes on the bottom? The B value, the 9. Okay, so now the question you're asking is, what can I multiply to get 20 that I can add to get 9? And again, if you're not sure, just write all the multiples of 20. 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 3 doesn't work, 4 times 5. Those are all your options. Which ones of those add to get 9? 4 and 5. This part, by the way, you don't have to show me. You can do that in your head if you can do it in your head. But if you have trouble doing that in your head, just make a chart, okay? Okay, so now the question is, how do you write your answer? This is going to be 2 binomials. What are your binomials? Do you have questions, Sydney?
Does it
What?
matter which side the 5 and 4 goes
No. Mm-mm. Yeah, if you swap your 5 and 4, that's okay. If you say x plus 5 and x plus 4, or x plus 4 and x plus 5, they're the same thing.
What if it's -9?
We're going to get to that. Yeah. So this is x plus 4, and this is x plus 5. That's your answer. How'd that go?
Where did the ends come from? In the
Oh, n. You're right. No, I messed that up. Those are n's. My bad. I'm glad you caught that.
Can we try 2 on our own?
Yeah, because I'm going to lay out what it looks like here on these guys. Do number 3. What'd you get?
X plus 4 times x plus 6.
4 times 6 gets you 24 multiplying and 10 when adding. So this one's actually a, but a plus 4 and a plus 6. So here's what I want you to see. Notice your symbols here. These are both plus. When this top number and the b number are positive, these will both be positive numbers. But now look at this next one. This one has a negative number up top, but a positive b value. Let's see how your answer works out with this. So if we set up number 5, you're going to say 1 times negative 18 is a negative 18. Your a term is 1. Your b term, this one, is 3. What can you multiply to get a negative 18 that you can add to get 3? And again, if you have trouble coming up with the numbers, 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6, 4 times nothing, 5 times nothing, and you're back to 6. So those are your options, but you're multiplying to get a negative. So how many of the numbers are going to be negative? Just one of them, not both of them, okay? Because if you're going to multiply them together, just one can be negative. So what are your numbers to get a positive 3 when you add them together? A negative 3, a positive 6. So you get x minus, sorry, this is n minus 3, n plus 6. So what happens here is one of these will be positive and one of those will be negative. If you start with a negative up top and a positive on bottom. You try 7. What's your b term on this one? It's a 1. If there's nothing in front of that g, it's a 1, just like there's nothing in front of the g squared. So what'd you get?
G minus 2 times g times g plus 3.
Plus. So you need one of them to be a negative 2, a positive 3. That multiplies to get a negative 6, but it adds to get a positive 1. Sydney.
Matter which one is negative?
Yes. Yeah, because if you made the 3 negative, then it would be a negative 1 down here. You want it to be a positive 1. Yeah, so it's going to be g minus 2 and g plus 3. Okay? So if the top number is negative and the bottom number is positive, then you need one of each here and here.
Does it matter which
Jaden, are you with me right now? Yeah.
Does it matter which one's positive and negative? Like, can I have like the 6 be positive and like the 1 be negative? Or no?
No. It has to be, you have to use the symbol right in front of it. So that's a negative 6, that's a positive 1. Okay, look at the third set. Now they're both negative. So if your general setup is this is negative and this is negative, let's try this first one and see what we're gonna get from it. So top number is what can you multiply to get a -3? 1 times -3 is -3 that you can add to get a -2. Your A term's 1. What are those two numbers gonna be?
In both,
What? 1 and -3. Notice 1 is positive and 1 is negative. If you're gonna multiply to get a negative, you have to have one of each, okay? So your setup here would be A plus 1, right? 1A plus 1, 1A minus 3. Okay? You do number 10.
Are you gonna have the format on like our quizzes and like the stuff?
Mm-mm. You'll do it so many times by then that you'll know it. You do it a lot.
What was the other one?
Hers, I didn't even look at how she does it. Hers seemed a lot more complex to me. She like pulls a number from the front and brings it to the back and then turns it into a fraction and then reduces the fraction and then re-separates it. It was very detailed. I didn't like it. But I didn't like take the time to, I've just always taught this method and I really like this method, so.
So,
All the high school math teachers do. So like in Algebra 2, you'll do it. In RAM or HAM, you'll do it with STAR method. Yeah, we just try to keep it consistent through the whole school, so. Can you wait till I'm done with the lesson? Yeah? Okay, what'd you get? Say it again. A +3 and a -10. So x plus 3 and x minus 10. Okay? Okay, this one is the one that I think is the most telling, at least for me, when I'm working this out. In this one, your top number will be positive, but your bottom number will be negative. No, we did top number negative, bottom number positive. So if you're multiplying two numbers to get a positive, but then their sum is negative, what's going to be true about the two numbers?
they're gonna be one negative, one positive.
That would get you a negative up top.
Both negative.
Both negative. This one's going to be both negative, okay? So look at your setup on 13 here. You have what can you multiply to get 24 that you can add to get -11. So if they're both going to be negative, again, you can think through 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. Those are all your options, but they're both going to be negative. So if they're both negative and we're adding together to get a -11, what are they going to be?
Negative, -3.
Yeah, -3 and -8. So this is x minus 3 times x minus 8. Okay. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to do number 17, number 20, and number 21 with the people around you right now and see if you're getting the same answers and how you're doing, and we'll go over them in just a minute. Shoot, I forgot to record that one. There's 23 for anyone watching the video. Shoot, I forgot to do that one again. Okay, then you have a lot of time right now. We're going to do a review together, but I'm going to give you a little bit of time. If you want to start on this homework, you're welcome to. If you need like a 5-minute brain break,